Chapter 2, Explain the impact of computers on society. Is the text too small? Tip: hold the Control key down and use the mouse scroll wheel to change the font size in your browser. You will be responsible for reading and you will be tested on the text in blue. The text and web page that it links to is where the information came from. If you want to read more, you may look at those web pages if there is a link below the paragraph. The URL to those web pages are in the description of the video. Most computers and computing improve the way we interact, communicate and reason. Various services have encouraged many new ways to collaborate and communicate, from email to texting, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and other social services. New ways to communicate have been created, developed and adopted so that society can collaborate and communicate using video conferencing software like Zoom, StreamYard and Cisco WebEx and others. New ways to communicate are being created every day using social media, and it continues to evolve. Another way we communicate and collaborate using cloud computing. We store our documents in the cloud, we store our contacts there. We store our photographs in the cloud too. Having a common place to store documents like our files and ideas, our thoughts, leads to the development of different solutions and the way to get the results out to everyone and for everyone to be able to work on them together. Databases of all types that are public might possibly allow for such things as government data, census information, or even health information would allow a lot of people to work together. Big data, 33 brilliant and free data sources anyone can use. Trends regarding what people search for on the internet and big data archiving are huge predictors of the behavior that different people participate in. One of the biggest applications of big data is supporting various organizations and groups who want to understand social change and make predictions. Social media sites like Twitter, Facebook and others have permitted the dissemination of those trends. 10 years of research change using Google Trends, from the perspective of big data utilizations and applications. Travel has changed for geolocation using global positioning systems, GPS, and other technologies, allowing people to travel without the long-time paper map in front of them. They don't even have to look at their device anymore because these devices actually communicate verbally the directions to the places they wish to travel. Wireless network sensors allow us to interact with the environment and with other things like healthcare, smart cities, and agriculture. In agriculture, these networks allow us to monitor things such as soil temperature, moisture, and humidity. Wireless sensor network applications in healthcare and precision agriculture. Smart grids, smart transportation, and smart buildings are enabling the capacity of humans. These technologies have increased the capacity to forecast mainly because of the availability of power consumption systems, in particular computers' power networks. Smart grids forecast the demand and allow the generation, the planning and the adaptation of that power. In the last 2 decades, this capability and technique has allowed us to solve the complex problem that would otherwise be very difficult to do, like putting power where it needs to be at the time it needs to be consumed. The smart grid has allowed environments to integrate the demand, the generation and the storage of power, so in other words we can forecast the power that is needed and use it optimally. A survey on electric power demand forecasting, future trends in smart grids, microgrids and smart buildings, IEEE Journals and Magazine. Computers have contributed to assistive technology. Is any item, piece of equipment, software program, or product system that is used to increase, maintain, or improve the functional capabilities of persons with disabilities. It can be low-tech like cardboard or felt. It can also be high-tech using special-purpose computers. It can be computer software that reads screens or some form of communication program. It can be prosthetics, mounting systems, and positioning devices. It can also be many more electronic devices, wheelchairs, eye gaze and head trackers, and it can be much more, all due to the contribution of computers. What is AT? Assistive Technology Industry Association. The web has heightened the means and prospects for communication and collaboration. The way we get our news is no longer just a bunch of paper. Web-based apps like Twitter, Instagram and Facebook are often first when we want breaking news. Computers have changed the way marketing takes place too. Companies do not depend on traditional advertising to generate their funds. There is embedded sponsor links and content. There are also sticky ads, so the advertisement follows you around when you visit different sites. Big data can even predict what you might do next. Public relations is interesting because managers must watch what they say closely because everyone and anyone might be listening and recording what they are saying. There has been a trend of BYOD devices used in business. This is great but also puts the organization at risk for data breaches. BYOD is a great cost-saving asset for any company, but because they don't really have control or ownership of the device, there could be grave security issues. 5 ways technology has changed the communication field. The internet and computers have allowed healthcare workers to seek opportunities all over the map. Digitized patient records have been developed due to computers. Communication of patient records are available that follow high HIPAA standards, allowing electronic transfer versus the higher cost manual transfer method. How the internet changed the healthcare industry. Computers and the internet have allowed businesses to sell their goods online. No longer do you have to visit a brick-and-mortar store. Now you can also visit a website, pay with a credit card, and in a day or two, or sooner, you have the product that you ordered. You can shop the world literally without having to leave your home or place of business. The impact of the World Wide Web on business and commerce. The gaming industry is huge today. Everyone can play and enjoy the games they love. There are free gaming sites and more commercial hardcore multiplayer games called MMOs, where many players from all over the world play together. We can also watch movies via streaming movies on websites like YouTube, Roku, or Peacock. How technology has changed the world of home entertainment. Computers have also changed the way we learn. Teachers and students have the means to communicate quickly via email. Online grading systems also make it easier to check on a student's progress, and of course the online student can watch lectures, read their textbook, and submit their assignments into programs called an LMS. An LMS is a learning management system, which is a program that administers the requirements of the teacher and the student. A March 2007 article in the New York Times titled "Study Says Computers Give Big Boosts to Productivity" points out that computers transform industries by collecting data more efficiently. This can boost worker productivity 3 to 5 times more than other investments can. However, even though the pluses might outweigh the negatives, there are some negative effects. Productivity can be affected by distractions and interruptions like email, instant messaging, online media, online games, and even pornography. Through games with a purpose, computers have provided a way to make fun things productive. Games with a purpose is one such thing. Since each year billions of hours are spent by humans playing games. What if all this time and energy could be channeled into useful work? Labeling random images, locating objects in images, and there are other potential applications for future games like language translation, monitoring security cameras, improving web searches, and text summarization. The capability of humans is greatly boosted when we all work together for a common cause. https://www. cs. cmu. edu/biglu/IEEE guap. PDF. Online crowdsourcing strategies that induce masses of people to solve a task, such as locating far-flung items or alleviating world hunger, work best when financial incentives impel participants to enlist friends and acquaintances in the effort, a new study concludes. Bruce Bauer. Definition of crowdsourcing. There seems to be a trend of mobile devices that bring users together in a way that they can always be connected and online, furthering how they interact with each other. It is affecting the way education is taking place. Whether it's reading, writing, editing and curating photos and videos, or many other creative and social activities, the apps on mobile devices do the job quite well. The growing divide between work and consumer computing, ZDNet. AI, artificial intelligence, generally is undertaken in conjunction with machine learning and data analytics. Machine learning takes data and looks for underlying trends. If it spots something that is relevant for a practical problem, software designers can take that knowledge and use it to analyze specific issues. How artificial intelligence is transforming the world. AI has not only permitted but fueled advances in science, business, and every aspect of our lives. Computing is also allowing us to access knowledge and information that normally would only be available from someone selling encyclopedias door to door. There are many websites like Encyclopedia Britannica Online, Encyclopedia. Com, Scholarpedia, Wikipedia. Gasp! Since anyone can write and edit its entries, you can't always count on it to be scholarly. Wikipedia is one of the more popular sites, however. Of course, there are many other sites like these. Top encyclopedia sites for student research papers. With all this information that we are sharing, innovations are bound to take place and do. According to Creative Commons. Org, open access is there to provide Creative Commons licenses and public domain tools that give every person and organization in the world a free, simple, and standardized way to grant copyright permissions for creative and academic works, ensure proper attribution, and allow others to copy, distribute, and make use of those works. They work closely with major institutions and governments to create, adopt, and implement open licensing and ensure the correct use of CC licenses and CC licensed content. https://creativecommons.org/about/. So, what are some of the global effects of computers on society? Is it good or bad? You are the only one that can decide for yourself. Our society is changing right in front of our eyes, and it is through computers that we are not only seeing it but also experiencing it. One thing is for sure, it is bringing us together and apart at the same time.